is months after the fact. Sweep it all underneath the figurative rug. Good morning to you. Good Wednesday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Pirates. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or hockey, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Penguins in the same place that you found this. The main acquisition at the Major League Baseball trade deadline by Ben Cherington was Bryan De La Cruz. They will attempt, and have already kind of begun to attempt, convincing people that it was just a bunch of trades and he was just one of the guys who came along. But the problem with that approach is that people in this line of work, we record conversations for a living. Then we transcribe those and we share them with the public. So they're like everywhere. So you can find evidence aplenty that De La Cruz was the guy, was the target, was the player they wanted. Did they see him as the next Mike Trout? No, of course not. So I'm not going to inflate that. But I will trigger your own memory, and you're going to remember this since you follow the team so closely that you pushed play on this today, that Cherington said at the time of the trade that one of the things he liked most about De La Cruz was that the team had him under control for 3 more years. If you don't know what under control means, the easiest way to lay that out is however many years there are until a player can just become a free agent. And in De La Cruz's case, he has 3 full seasons of arbitration eligibility ahead. So yes, if the Pirates wanted to keep De La Cruz for another year beyond that, even 3 years, they could do that through the arbitration process. One problem with that, he's bad at baseball, okay? I mean, I don't know of a gentler way to let that one down. But if you're a corner outfielder and you can't hit for contact and your power isn't reliable, you strike out a ton, you hardly ever walk. Oh, and just to throw this in for kicks, you're awful defensively, other than having a gun for an arm. Then winning the rights to keep you for an additional 3 years, yeah, that's some prize, huh? I could go through all kinds of statistics and analytics here related to De La Cruz, but I don't have to. He'd hit 18 home runs for the Marlins. That's the only attractive number anywhere on his ledger. It's the most base foundational statistic you can have in the sport. Others, even at the time, had done research on De La Cruz's tendencies and trends and expressed strong reservations about whether or not this power was sustainable, whether it was going to become something that would be worth anything. The number that screamed out to me at the time was the .289 on-base percentage. I'm going to repeat that. .289 on-base percentage with the Marlins. And coming to a team that already was all universe in striking out, that had virtually no power, and that needed to get people on the base paths in order to, get some kind of chain reaction offense going, the only way De La Cruz was going to add anything to this lineup would be not just if he hit some home runs, but if he hit a ton. That's it. That's the end. There isn't a shortcut to volume of home runs. They tried that with Rowdy Tellez, pointing repeatedly to how 2 years ago in Milwaukee he hit 35. Never mind that he hasn't come close to replicating that, either in Milwaukee the following year or obviously in Pittsburgh. But everything else was just basically thrown out. Let's just add some home runs. Yeah, let's just do that. All right, cool. Who's got a lot of home runs that's available? There's this guy in Miami. So the Marlins give up De La Cruz to the Pirates for the Pirates' number 18 and 19 prospects in the organizational rankings done by Baseball America. That might or might not be anything. And that's not the point. The point is that all through the spring and all through the summer, everyone, everywhere, including, by the way, inside that clubhouse, recognized that more offense was needed. Even when Paul Skeens, Jared Jones, and Mitch Keller were mowing people down, boom, 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 and making you think, wow, these guys can compete with anyone if only they'd add another bat. All these months go by, and what Cherington ends up coming away with is a player who can't hit, who can't field, and who, by the way, can't really be kept. I mean, they might do it just to try to save face on the trade, but De La Cruz's salary for 2025 through arbitration is expected to be in the $4 million range. It was $780,000, and that would be just an absurd sum to commit to someone who can't hit and can't field. So all that was achieved was that Cherington, who said on the day of the trade that it was made for the 2024 team to help the guys down there on the field who are playing so hard and whatever else. And the team, of course, completely collapsed, in part because De La Cruz was being forced onto the field day after day. But I guess you could also count that they threw away 2 top 20 prospects from the number 27th ranked farm system in baseball. You know, after 5 full years of a total rebuild. When we come back, J1Q.
It's Gun Storage Check Week. Help prevent unwanted access to your firearms. No one wants their unsecured gun to be used in an accident, a suicide, or a crime. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to secure your firearms. Learn more at gunstoragecheck.org. That's gunstoragecheck.org. Brought to you by NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association.
Today's J1Q comes from Anson, who asks, DK, has there ever been any official reason given for the firing of the bullpen coach and the strength and conditioning coach? I wonder if they weren't casualties because they broke protocol in the way that John Nunnally once did. Ben Cherington has shown ridiculous patience regarding performance, but he seems to have no tolerance for breaking the process. I've heard from only one half of this scenario. I've heard from people who know the strength and conditioning coach, and there really wasn't a significant reason given, according to these people. I don't know any of what happened to the bullpen coach, although I had heard a couple weeks beforehand that he was one of the guys who might be out. And that's the total summation of what I know about those two situations, assuming they even are two situations, meaning distinctly so. I don't know that they are. I had the feeling with the 3 higher up baseball ops people who got fired, the same sense that I had with the 3 people at field level who got fired, including the 2 you mentioned, plus Andy Haynes, and that was that, hey, Bob Nutting, look at me, Ben Cherington, firing people. This is what really went wrong here. It's not me. It's not my assistant GM. It's not Derek Shelton. It's not any of that. It was these 6 people. And I'll take 3 from up here and 3 from down there and call it a day. And if that sounds like I'm painting a picture that's excessively callous, I'm sorry, but I don't have explanations that couldn't possibly exist. Meaning, if you're the GM and you fire your lead analytics person and you fire your lead pro scouting type, meaning the guy who is supposed to lay human eyes on your possible trade acquisitions. You're studying other teams' players. That's the job. The same thing falls under analytics, obviously. So you've got one guy saying, yes, go get this player. Go get him. He'll be a terrific fit for what we do. And then you take that to the analytics people and they run it through all of their machinations and everything, and they spit out the paperwork to support that contention, and then you go and get Bryan De La Cruz. Not my fault, Bob. It was their fault. Look, they're all fired. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Pirates. Gonna have another one of these tomorrow.